Good morning. Thanks for tuning in to the Kehillat Sha'arei Torah Halacha for the day for Monday, July 6th. We've been started talking yesterday actually about the period from the 17th of Tammuz until Tisha B'Av, the Bein HaMetzarim period, Bein HaMetzarim, between the walls, this 3-week period of mourning for tragic events that befell us in Jewish history. So we spoke actually about 4 fast days. We talked about Tzom Gedalia, 10th of Teves, 17th of Tammuz, and the 9th of Av. So Kitzur Shulchan Aruch says that if any of these 4 fast days occur during a bridegroom's Shivas Yamei HaMishta, after you get married, you have 7 days of rejoicing, Sheva Brachas. Although these days of the wedding feast, the 7 days of rejoicing, are considered as a Yom Tov, the bride and groom wear Shabbat clothes, and if they do happen to show up to a minyan, which does sometimes happen with the newlyweds, we omit Tachanun on those days because it's like having a king among us. Nevertheless, they still have to fast during the day. These are sun up to sundown fast, all these. Since Yom Tov is only the Yom Tov of getting married, the celebration of getting married is a personal celebration, public mourning and fasting overrides it. So we have a little bit of a tension between a private rejoicing and a public sad occasion. So in this case, the public overrides it, even though it's not as much fun. And that is based on a verse in Psalms 137, the famous by the waters of Babylon, where it says, "If I fail to elevate Jerusalem above my foremost joy." So since Jerusalem should be foremost in our minds, even at happy times, we do fast on those days, similar to the idea of breaking a glass under the chuppah. There's a difference between the first three fast days that we mentioned, Tzom Gedalia, 10th of Teves, and 17th of Tammuz, difference between those and Tisha B'Av. On the first 3 fast days, you're allowed to have food that night up until dawn, if you didn't have your regular sleep. If you did have your regular sleep, you have to fast from when you get up, unless you made a specific condition. In other words, they are sun up to sundown fast. On Tisha B'Av, however, we begin the fast the day before when it's still nighttime. So it is a 24-hour fast from sundown to sundown, a little bit more because we start fasting even before sundown. So in other words, Tisha B'Av, together with Yom Kippur, are the only 2 around-the-clock fasts that we experience in the course of a year. Another lenient feature about the first fast, women who are pregnant or nursing are usually exempt from fasting if it's going to cause them trouble. A sick person, even if not critically ill, should not fast on those days. Nevertheless, even a person who's allowed to eat should not have an elaborate meal, but should only eat as much as they need to preserve their health. Children, too, although they don't have to fast, if they understand the significance of mourning, you can train them and they can have just minimal food, bread and water, so they will be part of the communal observance of these sad occasions. It's a mitzvah, he says further, in a different point. It's a mitzvah for every Jewish community when they are beset with trouble, God forbid, to fast and pray to Hashem for rescue from their troubles. But if the time is not appropriate for fasting, in other words, if people are fleeing, if there's a siege of the city and people have to leave in a hurry, and they're not permitted to fast because then it's a danger to their lives, it'll sap their strength. However, they should resolve to fast for a certain number of days when they are finally safe and sound as a sign of appreciation to Hashem. And you did have this a few years ago when the water level in Israel was dangerously low. There actually was fasting in Israel, I remember some years ago, and actually people around the world did join in that as well. Okay, we'll continue talking about the 3 weeks in particular when we tune in tomorrow. Meantime, have a good day.